Coming up, we'll have your sports recap. Good evening, I'm Jessica O'Kenny.
And I'm Brooke Bateman. You're watching Newsbreak.
There's some new developments happening here on campus.
You got a second? Somebody wants to.
Breaking news, here's you. Coming up next on Newsbreak.
Living on campus can be fun and exciting, but students should be careful after the youth crime rate report showed a high volume of crime occurring close to the dorms. McCall Gray has a few tips on being safe while living on campus.
The Department of Public Safety has released crime activity reports occurring heavily in burglaries near the dorms. The following are a few tips to ensuring your items don't fall into the wrong hands. The first tip is to register your bike, so if it does get stolen, it is easier to track down by the serial number. Bicycle coordinator Alexandra Zimmerman said, "It is important to invest your money into the right type of lock. A U-lock is the kind that I recommend and find to be the most efficient versus the standard cable lock." Gateway Housing RA Casey Hunt said each door has a swipe keypad to get into the building. She also noted that each dorm room door will automatically lock when shut. What students should remember is to communicate with their suite mates about keeping doors locked and having their key with them at all times. The third tip is to keep all electronics and expensive items out of sight and all locked up.
I bought a safe from the university housing and it was only $60 and it's big enough to fit my laptop in it and any important papers that I have, and it's really convenient for me to just keep my things safe.
Make note of these safety tips to ensure your personal belongings stay safe while living on campus. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm McCall Gray.
The University Crime Report has shown an increase since last school year. Jessica O'Kenny found out why crime has risen on campus.
A college education shouldn't have to come with fear.
She was actually taken to a parking lot.
But Gar Smith says he sees the violence far too many times, and it's not getting better.
As a university community, we feel one is too many.
According to the University of Utah's annual security report, sexual assaults on campus have nearly doubled since last year.
This is a very underreported crime.
But I think if people knew more about what types of behaviors are inappropriate or unacceptable, they might be more inclined to report it.
At the beginning of the year, police say a woman survived a sexual assault right here on campus. Now, investigators still have no leads on the man who attacked the woman, and police say this is typical.
We are still waiting for DNA results to come back from the state lab on that.
And getting those DNA tests could take up to a year, according to the state. Since 2011, officials report 16 sexual assaults. Investigators are still compiling 2014 numbers.
There is a lot of national attention to this issue that has unfortunately been a problem on college campuses for a long time. And I think we welcome the public attention because it really is raising awareness.
And that attention has school administrators placing more of these emergency call boxes around campus. I found about 3 within 1 block of each other. And there are great resources like the Rape Recovery Center and programs here on campus to help victims of sexual assault. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Jessica O'Kenny.
Feeling uneasy while walking alone on campus? I'll show you how to avoid it after the break.
Students walking alone on campus may be glad to know of a safety escort service that is available 24/7. Scott Hebertson has more on this service.
The University of Utah's recently released annual security and fire safety report disclosed that there has been a rise in crime and sexual assault on campus. Consequently, some students admit that they feel uneasy about being on campus after hours.
Probably wouldn't stay here beyond 8:30. I mean, I do feel it's a little scary.
The U has 24-hour security officers that can escort students around campus anytime they feel unsafe walking alone. But are most students aware of this service or how they can contact a security officer?
I was, but I'm not positive how to go about doing that.
I was, but I don't really know how to contact them or how it works.
Those alerts that they keep sending out, like it's written on the bottom of that if you ever need an escort, then we offer it. So.
At dps.utah.edu, students will find the number that they need to call to request a security officer should they need one. Students would be smart to keep this number in their phone and pass it along to their peers so that every student at the U can feel safe and that they can receive help when needed.
If it was late at night and I felt unsafe wandering campus, I would feel comfortable enough to ask for an escort, and I don't want to take any risks. Everyone should feel comfortable enough to be able to ask for help.
This is Scott Hebertson reporting for Newsbreak.
If you're interested in requesting a safety escort, please call the number on the screen. In other news, parking at the U is known for being sparse. With lots more closing within this week, where are students supposed to park? Tracy Shane takes a look into parking solutions.
Construction and event parking causes convenient parking less available for students.
I usually try to park in the stadium, yeah.
Kathleen Brown, a senior, often struggles finding parking in the stadium due to events held at Rice Eccles.
I couldn't find a place in the stadium. Most of it was roped off today. I'm not sure what they were doing.
Alma Allred, the head of commuter service, feels that students want 3 things in parking: cost, convenience, and availability.
In reality, you can really only provide 2 out of those 3 things. If you have a lot of convenient parking, it's never going to be cheap. And if you have cheap, plentiful parking, it's never going to be convenient. So there's kind of a balancing act that we have to go through, is to try to get the best value we can, recognizing that there are limits to the number of parking spaces that we can provide that are convenient.
3 major parking lots have already closed due to construction, like the lot behind the Tanner Irish Humanities building that was recently closed due to the groundbreaking of the Lassonde Center.
If people are looking for parking places in the same place every day, they need to look different places. There are always, and there have been all year, around 600 or 700 vacant spaces in the Guardsman Way parking lot. Guardsman Way, if you look on a map, you'll see that it is closer to business school classes than parking in the engineering lot.
Guardsman Way is located by the football facility and the Spencer Eccles Fieldhouse. It is not convenient for every major, but with limited space and the mountains to the east, it is a short-term solution for a constant issue.
People want convenient parking. They want it right close to where their destination is, and we're running out of that.
Guardsman parking lot is currently not being affected by construction, and students with a U or E parking pass struggling to find parking should take a look there first. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Tracy Shane.
Basketball season just started this past Tuesday. Now we have Jessica Kenny sitting down with the Chronicle sports editor Griffin Adams to discuss what you can expect this upcoming season.
I'm here with Griffin Adams, and we're going to talk a little bit about sports. So Griffin, I want to talk about football. So our football kicking team is very, very unique. You know, we have Andy Phillips, who is on the U.S. ski team and didn't even have football on his radar. And then we have Tom Hackett, who's from Australia, now playing American football. So what kind of strengths do you think both of these guys bring to our field?
Well, both of those guys are one of the best in the nation at their respective positions. Andy Phillips, like you said, was on the U.S. ski team before. Never played a down of football in his life before suiting up for Utah last season. He had a really good season last year. He's only missed 2 this year, and one of them clanked off the goalpost. So he's one of the leaders, and a lot of people are starting to take notice, even nationally. So the same goes for Tom Hackett. He's from Australia, and he does a special kind of punt where he runs to the side. It's called rugby style, and it kind of tricks the defenses a little bit because sometimes he can run for the first down. We've seen that a couple of times in his time here at Utah. So both kickers are really good. Both are making some national news.
Right. So do you think that his unique kicking style with what he brings from Australia, do you think that's why our defense is top of the line here?
Well, I think that definitely helps just because it's a little bit different. You know, it's not the traditional style of punting that everyone typically does in college football. Some people are starting to take note, and there are other punters actually starting to do the rugby style as well. He said this was common in Australia and that a lot of people are starting to come over to American football and kind of change the way things have done it. So I'm not really sure how he does what he does, but somehow he still punts it and pins the defense deep within their own end zone.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's go to basketball now. So I want to know, what type of comeback do you think our basketball team has had since Larry Kryskowiak took over?
Well, Coach K has done nothing but positive things for this program. He's been amazing since coming in. It's been a little bit of a rush transition. Even his first season, they were, I believe, 6-23. So they weren't very good, and each year they've improved, though. They went from that to going to nearly 500 to having 20 wins. So this year is really the year where they're trying to make that next jump. All fans remember when Andrew Bogut terrorized the Huntsman Center back in the day. So I know Utah fans are waiting for them to put a team on the court that will win, and this might be the year to do it.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's talk about Dillian Wright a little bit. So, do you think he's going to be a lottery pick for the pro?
He's a very good player. He's really smart. In the practices, and they actually had a scrimmage last night, I noticed that he makes plays that even his teammates sometimes don't see. He makes the perfect cuts, perfect pass all the time. So, obviously, he will make a mistake here or there. He did last night in the scrimmage. But for the most part, he's a smart player. He makes the right plays. And as far as the pros, I don't know if lottery pick is the right term. He'll definitely be a first-round talent. And if he has another strong season, I'd say maybe he could sneak into the lottery conversation.
Nice. All right. Well, we want to know your lottery picks. So tweet us and Facebook us at Newsbreak Utah. Brooke, back to you.
Thanks, Jessica. Now that's all the time we have for today. I'm Brooke Bateman, and thanks for watching Newsbreak.